Welcome back to the Acoustic Shoppe channel, your source for all the stuff acoustic.
You know what? You're always welcome at the Acoustic Shoppe channel. Pull up a chair. Today, what are we going to talk about, John?
Another custom shop build from Bourgeois. This is a custom shop Country Boy guitar with Sinker Mahogany. So stick around. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun.
There's nowhere to go when the sun won't show for hours. The streets have all...
This is the Country Boy, so we pulled out a Ricky Skaggs number, one of our favorites. We got a video. It's in the description below. You can skip straight to that and hear this guitar and hear John's Ricky Skaggs singing
Aw,
voice.
that was fun.
You're a country
I like
boy.
that. I love that Skaggs stuff. That's some of my favorite
Grew up
music
on
in the
that
whole
stuff.
world. Yeah.
This guitar, inspired by one of Ricky's guitar players at the time.
Yeah. Well, it was actually for him. No, this was actually, the Country Boy was built for Ricky.
Okay.
Yeah, these are great guitars. This is a basic, the Country Boy model is kind of the basic D18 style guitar that Bourgeois makes. But this one is in their Heirloom series. So this gets all the stuff put in there. And then on top of that, it actually has a couple of custom things, mainly.
Another interesting thing about heirlooms is they grow back every year.
Is that true?
I'm thinking about the seeds. Never mind. Go ahead.
It's very strange. Anyway, this one has Sinker Mahogany back in sides. I've told you guys here, and if you're watching a couple years later, well, then you'll know about this story too. There's been a shortage because of COVID of Sinker Mahogany. In fact, I had a couple builds that were scheduled for Bourgeois, and Dana goes, afraid we're not going to be able to do those in Sinker Mahogany. Now, he got a couple of them he pulled out of his private stash and did one.
I have a private stash.
There you go. And I know this one came out of his private collection of special guitars too, because this was built for the North Carolina Guitar Camp. This was with Brian Sutton, and you know, Dana always goes to that one because he works a lot with Brian and wants to be there to show off guitars, and he always picks 4 or 5 and builds specific guitars for that camp. They're always their showcase instruments, and then afterwards they put them up and availability. And I got a call that very day saying, hey, John, there's a couple things that are available here. One that I in particular think you need to have, and it was this guitar right here, which is the Country Boy Heirloom with Sinker Mahogany. Absolutely incredible. We were not disappointed when it came in. In fact, I actually asked them to send me pictures, and I said, yes, absolutely. This one's great. The figuring on this one looks really good. It is a Sinker Mahogany guitar, so it gains a little bit more of that projection as well as a little bit more sustain that we've been noting from most of the Sinker Mahogany
For some
guitars.
of our newer viewers, what is Sinker Mahogany?
Sinker Mahogany, if you don't know, is mahogany that's synced.
Shouldn't it be called sunk mahogany?
Yeah,
Because this is some of the logs when they used to, either when they were in the logging industry, when they would do the log booms and have them float down the river to the mill, they would oftentimes, some of the denser ones would sink to the bottom of the water, and that cold water often preserved the wood, but also started to fill it with some of the, some of the pores in it get replaced with mineral content, which gives a little bit different color, a little different stiffness as well, and tonal properties go with that.
Yes.
Some of it was naturally, not just log boom, but some they find a log that was in the bottom of a river. So I'm not sure exactly how this piece of wood came to be, but
if you do
it
get
came
that
out of water.
information, please let us know.
Okay.
I would appreciate that.
Dana, let us know where that came from. He was out fishing. He was noodling in a river. He came across this log.
This is a very punchy guitar, but warm too. Some of the Sinker guitars have been a little bit on the bright side for me. I'm very happy with the kind of warmth that this guitar has given off. And like all Bourgeois guitars, very articulate in the sound. I mean, that's what he's known
Their
for.
voice to just be even across the spectrum.
Yeah, he's just trying to get everything he can out of those particular pieces of wood, and it just has a really cool tone quality to it. So yeah, this was definitely a special guitar, and I'm glad to get it into the shop. In fact, what we're going to do right now is get into the entire specs of it and tell you all of those. This guitar comes in at a price of $84.99. Of course, it is a dreadnought guitar. It does have Sinker Mahogany back and sides, Adirondack spruce top. The neck is it is an age tone Adirondack spruce top to be specific.
Very specific,
Yeah,
yes.
that's That's torrefied, in case you were wondering. A Honduran mahogany neck with a Brazilian rosewood head plate on here. Again, that's kind of that extra
Really nice mother of pearl
touch on
inlay
there.
logo.
Yeah, and it does have the tortoiseshell binding as well. Two-way truss rod, a bone nut and saddle. Does have the Waverly oval button tuners, which are my favorites. These are the 1930s style
Very traditional
tuners
looking.
out there. Yeah, I really do like this. Does have, like we said, for the bracing, age tone torrefied Adirondack spruce brace.
So matching the bracing to the top, so that's very cool.
It does have the age tone finish, which is built to be a thinner yet harder finish than even their standard finish that they use on these. The neck finish is the age tone satin finish on it as well. Neck profile is their V-shape, modified slight V-shape shape, Chair. Yeah. That's what it is, a V-shaped shape.
A V-shaped shape.
It has the nut width of 1 inch and 23/32, which is common of Bourgeois guitars, with a 25.5-inch scale. Overall, this is everything you want in a more pre-war style D18 build with a little bit more articulation and a little bit more
Customization with that sinker mahogany. And
Yep. On this particular one, like we said, what builds this is that heirloom series, so it does have that age tone finish. These are the custom things that were added. Age tone torrefied bracing, as well as the animal protein glue. That's kind of just brings it up to its top notch of the Country Boy series. You can buy Country Boy guitars, mahogany guitars with a spruce top in various different levels, but this being the heirloom series, this gets all of the big treatments.
bells and whistles.
Yeah, the stuff that we all want. We all want that, Jer.
And
Give the
stuff
people what they want.
Stuff that Dana says, you know what, for this special camp, I'm going to build the guitar that everybody wants.
Yep.
And that's this one.
And this one added, I think that's where he really made the big change, was adding that sinker mahogany, especially knowing that they were running out of it. So, anyway, who's this instrument for? I think this is for a person who is looking for a D18 that has the articulation, the detail that we know from Bourgeois guitars, and yet has everything that a player would possibly want in that.
And we've done some comparisons between sinker mahogany, standard mahogany, mahogany rosewood. Mahogany in general seems to be for that flat picker, a little faster player. Some of your
Lead players
Brian
tend to go
Suttons
that
and
route.
your
Although some of us are starting to lean back on rosewood again too. I mean, I know Brian's doing that and all that too, but it seems like consistently for flat picking lead stuff, the mahogany
especially
just
with
tends
age,
to have a little bit more.
it still keeps that real clarity.
Tone wise, I'm really surprised how poppy this is and rounded. There's definitely the definition, but that front end's not like this bright sharp attack. It's a rounded blunted attack, but definitely has an attack. And I think that's what's really kind of cool about this.
It's not giving that real big boomy like
No.
if somebody wanted something to fill a room with a strumming rhythm guitar. It is just definitely more and that's Bourgeois in general. It has that very clear, concise tone to it.
That's what I've discovered, and I'm really starting to tune into it. I think this would mic extremely well and kind of just fill in all the spaces that a player would be looking for. It's not a fancy guitar. It's their playing guitar, and that's what it's supposed to be. So if you're looking for a fancy guitar, it's
showpiece.
not really that. But
I mean, even with that sinker mahogany, it's not like it's a darker stained mahogany. It doesn't really catch your eye a lot with a bunch of crazy grain stuff. So if anybody had a con, if they were wanting a guitar that was just a real flashy show guitar, this might not be the one for them. It doesn't have a lot of that eye-catching grain to the wood.
Yeah, but I think an overall workhorse guitar that does everything well, that's probably the direction this would be. So what I think we'll do right now is kind of get to the ratings of this guitar and see what you think in here. And we'll do that again on a 1 to 5 scale, starting with tone. I'm really impressed with this guitar. I really am. I know that this is designed to kind of be controlled a little bit more. I would like to see a little bit, but I think that's going to come.
Yeah, it's only a
with
couple
some
days
age.
old.
Yeah,
at least in our shop.
I'm trying to imagine where this one's going to be, and I know Dana is so good at kind of controlling some of those crazy overtones. But I still wish there was a little bit more bottom end to it for me. So I'm gonna probably give it. I'm gonna rate this at a 4.5.
Yep, I think that's a fair rating because it is going to open up in time, and it probably will get where you're wanting. But in its current condition, it's just going to need played a lot. Which, hey, that's a great thing for whoever buys this guitar.
So.
They get to play it a lot and hear it develop over time.
I saw that happen with mine. So yeah, I definitely that's where I'm gonna put it right now. Setup and playability. They're putting it exactly where I want to see my guitars. It's low enough that I can play comfortably. It's high enough that I'm not going to overdrive it. So for me, the Bourgeois setup is pretty well perfect out of the box for me. So I'm going to give it a full-on 5.
Ooh, good for you.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't played this guitar, so I'm going to go with your rating on it. But listening to you, you're able to play some really clean notes on it, and not really struggle with it. So I think it is probably about the right setup for you.
For me, it's dead on. I love it. Anyway, build quality, it's another Bourgeois guitar. They always come out meticulous. Dana has to personally inspect every single one of those, so I don't see any issues again on this guitar as I expected. The wood choices are all super clean. Everything's there. This is a 5-star build.
Absolutely. They will not let something out of the shop. We've seen guitars that they've discarded that I was like, I'd take it, but they won't let it leave the shop unless it's perfect.
Yeah. Looks wise, this is all for I like a little bit more dress up, but I know what it's supposed to be.
I think if you're gonna go for aesthetics and appearance, in like category, it's maybe a little on the lacking side for that. But that's not what they were going for.
Yep.
So that's not really a knock on them, but I would still rate it maybe at a 4.
I'm gonna go give it a 4.5. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It just doesn't knock me out. I like things like extra.
That's not what they were going for.
I kind of like where we got into the championship dreads and they had just a little more dress to them.
But again, if you're comparing this to a D18, it's almost identical.
Yeah. For the Shoppe sustainable model, I do know that this one is sourced pretty darn well. This one I think will fall in our Shoppe sustainable mission.
Yeah, Dana pays pretty close attention to sustainability, and that's a big thing on his mind as well. So
yeah. Absolutely. Overall value, it's a pricey guitar. It's not super fancy. So this one's, I think it's an absolute workhorse. I think it's worth all the dollars they are. Are there guitars that come in a little bit less money that are comparable? Yeah.
So you just listed a few. You listed Preston Thompson. We've had a
That was
Sinker
going to come
Mahogany.
in higher.
We listed Boucher.
Boucher's going to
Did
come
we
in a
do
little bit lower, quite a bit lower.
Sinker Mahogany with Boucher.
We have not done one.
So that might knock that price up a little bit more.
Yeah,
But
but still, this kind of falls in the middle of those. I'm going to give it a 4-star as far as its overall value. Yes, it's got a lot of great things for it. Do I think it's a fantastic guitar? Yes. There are guitars that'll compare, like I said, but not quite exactly like this. So for all you people who are always knocking us on these boutique guitars of how expensive they are, I get what you're saying. So I'm going to take that into account a little bit here, and I'm going to give it a 4-star.
I'm going to still stick with that higher rating at 4.5 because the wood is getting scarcer to find some really good Sinker Mahogany. The time that they take to build these guitars, the voicing that Dana has developed over 40 years of experience, I think it's totally worth the price tag that they put on it. So I'm still going to go at a 4.5 star.
All right, there we go. So what we're going to do here now is kind of get you guys a little tone sample of it so you can hear what it sounds like. I think you're going to be knocked out by it, and then we'll come right back and give you our final thoughts. Well, there you have it. Another fantastic guitar by Dana.
I can't wait till we get a dud. That'll make for a very entertaining video.
This guitar was a dud.
We give it 0 stars. No, this is another excellent example of what Dana and his team are able to put out there, and glad that they gave us the call on this one after the camp was over so that we can get it in the shop and hopefully get it into a loving hands at home somewhere.
Yeah.
If you guys... Go ahead.
I was going to say, you mentioned earlier about sinker mahogany versus regular mahogany. If you have not got very much experience, Anyway, if you don't have very much experience with sinker mahogany, we actually did a video where we compared a guitar exactly same build, one with Honduran mahogany and one with a sinker mahogany, and you can kind of hear those back to back. It's a really cool video, and you can click the link right here and check it out. That is a very, very cool comparison, so you can see what that's all about. And until next time, thanks for joining us. We'll be back with more cool acoustic videos, hopefully in the near future. In fact, it'll probably be tomorrow. You just click on the deal and you'll know all about it.
We've got thousands behind this one, so keep checking out the channel, guys.